Snowy Walton, the belle of the class, claimed she could hear my thoughts. When a classmate gained weight from hormone medications, she pointed at me and shouted, "Why did you call Eva a disgusting fat pig? Do you think you'll never be ill in your life?" The others believed her right away. They surrounded me, relentlessly demanding that I apologize publicly. From that day onward, I was isolated by the entire class. Later, during a lesson, the teacher mentioned her family. Snowy suddenly turned on me again. "What do you mean that our teacher only got this job through connections and that she has no capabilities at all? Show some respect." I desperately explained that I had never thought such things, but the teacher didn't believe me. Not only was I written up for disciplinary action, but my scholarship was also revoked. Then, confidential documents from the school labs were stolen. Once again, Snowy blamed me. "How could you sell those files to foreigners and say that they were only worth $100,000? I was arrested by the police and convicted of leaking state secrets. I was sentenced to life imprisonment. In the end, I died in prison, consumed by depression. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the very day Snowy accused me of insulting Eva. By this time, she didn't know that I had uncovered her secret behind her so-called ability to hear my thoughts. Ginny Sanders, how could you call Eva a disgusting fat pig? She got fat because of hormone medication. She didn't ask for it." When I heard the accusation that caused my death once more, I was in a daze. I subconsciously looked up at Snowy Walton, who was looking at me sternly. Eva Zabel, sitting in the corner, suddenly stood up and glared at me. "Ginny, I've never crossed you. Why must you insult me?" When I heard what she said, I was sure that I had been reborn. In the previous life, I remembered Snowy suddenly pointing at me and accusing me of insulting Eva. Eva was initially 45 kilograms, but due to hormone medication, her body weight doubled. She hated people calling her fat. Everyone in the class knew about this, so they had never once said anything about her weight. I had always stayed silent on this matter too. In fact, I barely spoke to Eva. I immediately stood up and said that I did not do anything. Snowy snickered and said, "Of course you didn't say it, but I could hear your thoughts. I heard you calling Eva a disgusting fat pig." The absurd accusation left me bewildered. Little did I expect that Snowy would try to prove herself. "Why don't we do a little experiment? Everyone, place an item on your table. We'll all head out. Ginny will then pick a few times. No matter what she picks, I'll be able to tell." She added, "That way, this proves that I'm telling the truth. How about that?" I was curious to find out about this as well, so I instantly agreed to it. I started cautiously. I got everyone to switch off their mobile phones and place them in the classroom. I shut the windows and doors tight as well. Still, Snowy could perfectly pinpoint what items I had taken. She even managed to tell the order I took the items. This time, everyone believed her. They started isolating me. Later, at another lesson, when Ms. Honey, our teacher, mentioned her husband and children, Snowy abruptly accused me once more. "Ginny, why did you say Ms. Honey's classes are boring? You even said that her husband and child are as ugly as a troll. Show some respect." Snowy wanted to repeat the experiment to prove that she could hear my thoughts. I explained desperately that those thoughts never crossed my mind, but Ms. Honey would not believe me. Not only was I written up for disciplinary action, but my scholarship and financial aid were also revoked. Not long after, I was known in school for my terrible character. Everyone avoided me like the plague. Just when I thought this would be it until graduation, a few confidential documents were stolen from the school labs. Snowy once again accused me. "How could you sell those documents to foreigners and say that they were only worth $100,000? I was arrested by the police and convicted to life imprisonment for selling state secrets. My parents went around the country trying to clear my name, but they ended up being killed in an accident. As I thought back about how I died tragically in prison in my previous life, I clenched my fists. Given a second chance at life, I refused to end up in the same place again." Looking at Snowy's triumphant face, I pointed at my roommate Mandy Lee next to me. "I've been reading. I didn't even open." Click the link in my bio to get the full story for free.